Welcome. My name is Ray Quattramini from Smarter Strategic Thinking. Today we have David Kaler from DataCore. David, nice to meet you. Thank you. First off, how long have you been in the IT industry?
Started a long time ago. I would say about 40 years ago.
Wow.
37. Let's say 40.
What was your interest at that time in terms of getting into the industry?
For the one who knows, because they are my age, they understand that at the time IT was quite an important new technology. And people were starting to have the personal computer access.
Yes.
So there were quite a lot of demand, interest, and request from the field, consumer, resellers, distributors, about this new technology. And IT at the time was mainly for Excel, Word, I would say. And then little bit by little bit, we understood that we could do a bit more. So accountants could use it, industry could use it, and then data centers to store all this data could use IT in the, I would say, highest level or technology point of view. So there were so many jobs, opportunity, and so many interesting things to do. So that's why I joined the IT world.
Wow.
On my courses. So it was courses where I focused more on sales, because that's my profile, and IT, because it was the market. A bit like today, if someone look for a job, why not looking in AI?
Yeah.
Because that's a good topic. It's very large. There will be more and more AI. So why not? Why not to be
Follow the curve? Yeah.
Instead of the ship on AI.
Yeah.
That's my position.
When did you join DataCore?
So I joined DataCore, funny enough, 17 years ago. I worked with them for about 2 years. And then I left for another company. And they called me back about 9 months ago now, asking me if I was free to join the UK team.
Wow.
And it was a good time for me to change and agree for this new challenge.
Wow.
So I joined about 9 months ago now.
And what's your official job title in the UK?
So my official job title is Regional Sales Director, which make me in charge of the revenue growth in the UK, Ireland, Malta, and Cyprus.
Oh, wow.
So I'm quite lucky to have this 2 southern region.
Oh, it's better than the weather today, eh?
Interesting, yes. Historically speaking, interesting to go there and to see what is what. And on the IT point of view as well, they are growing and they have different, or I would say, opportunities for DataCore there for different reasons. But that's not the topic of today's, I guess.
For those that don't know and the people watching this video, what does DataCore do? From my point of view, DataCore is like an umbrella name, and then you have many pieces of software that do different things underneath. So do you want to just explain to our viewers what you do?
Yes. So about 27 years ago, DataCore has been created exactly at the same time as VMware. And the idea at the time was to do a bit what VMware have done for the servers, so virtualization of the server for VMware, and for DataCore was virtualization of the storage. So it did make sense at the time to have the bundle DataCore VMware all together and to move together. And little bit by little bit, DataCore has been more considered as a storage provider, virtual storage provider. So software-defined storage or storage-defined software, depends how you want to say it. But that was the first step of DataCore in the IT world. And it did work well with 2 products, SANsymphony and SANmelody, which were focusing on the block storage, which what we call as well SAN storage. And DataCore evolved since, obviously, and decided to grow the market by acquiring new technologies instead of developing. So they bought different technologies and different companies. And there's a few companies who have been bought quite recently. So one is Starwind, another SAN as well, virtual storage solution. Pixit Media, which is more in the media industry, rich media industry, always in the storage. And as well, more software than hardware. And the other solution is Swarm, who was Caringo in the past, which is an object storage, and the same software. So we kept the concept of providing software solutions completely detached from the hardware, and that's where we are very strong, and that's I would say, the main advantage of DataCore in the IT industry is we are software solution completely agnostic from the hardware.
Yes.
So we are different to a lot of other people in the industry and other vendors in the industry. We run on any kind of hardware. And that's always been I would say, the strategy of DataCore to acquire software. So today we have different portfolio, entry level for SAN, which is StarWind. Then we have SANsymphony. So SAN Melody disappeared for StarWind, obviously.
Yeah.
SANsymphony is the, I would say, second level and premium level, the different variation. And then we have Swarm, which is the object storage for the archive, for the backup archiving concept. So it's purely when you want to keep your data on a cheap storage where you don't need to have very fast access. And then we have acquired Pixit Media, and within Pixit Media, you have a technology named PixStore. PixStore is high performance computing. So it's a very high performance solution to have access to your data onto this storage. So we provide this technology, which is software technology. We can read and write excessively fast on disk. So there's more than purely a software. There's like architect, there's like audit, there's like a full package when you buy Pixit Media. And we took this knowledge to create what we call now Nexus, which is a bundle between PixStore, so the HPC solution, Swarm, which is the object storage, the cheap storage solution, and Engina, which is a software concept, I would say an orchestrator to migrate the data quickly from an expensive tier to an inexpensive tier. And you can make it completely autonomous, so it can be completely automated, or it can be manual depending on what you want, or it can be as well managed by scripts. So that's Nexus. And then we have as well another technology which we call Pulse 8. And Pulse 8, it's storage for Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is services, intelligent services, when you can
containerization.
Create, just to simplify. So you create a service, and this service is, I would say, not permanent. As soon as the service do not run, it just disappear. So there's no permanent storage. There's no security on the storage point of view with Kubernetes as it is. So you plug different technology, but it's not the best. So we have acquired the EBS Pro concept, which is a free source technology, and we have bundled support and development to provide a consistent storage for Kubernetes.
Right.
And consistent, secure, ultra fast, and ultra protected. So it's always storage for different services, for different needs. And that's what makes DataCore, we say today, effectively, as you introduce it, as a company who has different options, but always for storage. So file, block, object, Kubernetes. So that's where we are.
And you also have another company that you didn't mention, Object Matrix.
Object Matrix is one of the other object storage we have acquired because it came with Pixit Media.
Right.
So when we bought Pixit Media, Object Matrix was part of the deal. So we acquired Object Matrix as a continuity within Pixit Media. So Pixit Media is a kind of independent company owned on a capital point of view by DataCore, but Pixit Media is acting as an independent company in the media industry. So to manage, I would say, rich media. And they didn't have Swarm at the time. They had objects storage through this technology. And this technology was very much specific for media. So with connectors, with MAM, DAM.
Yeah.
And that was the
Media workflow,
object matrix
basically.
was very much like an integrated archive solution
Yes.
with for the media industry. Well, Swarm is very much like any kind of vertical. You can be in the media, you can be in the industry, in the banking. It doesn't matter. It's purely object storage. So it's kind of, I would say, to simplify, is a bit like a storage in the cloud, AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, but on premise.
Yes.
It's what it is. So that's the comparison.
Product I'm quite familiar with is obviously SANsymphony. So basically, with SANsymphony, you can load up on any server, and it virtualizes the servers as one, and you share the resources across those servers, and then provide them out over the network.
Yeah, that's the concept. So when we say server, think more storage.
Yeah.
So effectively, what we can do, we can take any kind of storage coming from a server or coming from a rack of disk.
Yeah.
Could be a Gboard, or it could be an add-on. So any add-on you can put into a rack, could be a rack of storage or internally to the server. And what we do, we show this area as the storage for anyone who's using a specific solution, for example. And for this solution, the storage is accessible. And that's the only thing we have to keep in mind when you think of DataCore. So if you need a block storage and you want to be able to use any kind of physical storage, DataCore is a very good option because effectively it will virtualize the storage into a big cloud, local cloud, and it will just give any application access to unlimited storage because the solution thinks it's unlimited. That's what we are providing. So thin provisioning is one of the technology we are using. We have developed, which is to make the access to the data unlimited. So the solution think there's always space. And in fact, behind, there's an intelligence stating to the IT platform manager that effectively it will need more disk.
Yes.
Wherever the disks are coming from, whatever kind of disk, it doesn't matter. Then we can play with that. We can play with the tier, we can play with the speed, we can play with whatever they are giving us.
Yeah.
So the concept of virtual storage into like a big cloud of storage. That's what DataCore SANsymphony is providing.
And you also accelerate the writes using the memory in the machine as well?
Yep, correct. So SANsymphony has a lot of big, strong features. And one of them is to accelerate the access, read and write to the data. Why? For different reasons, but I would say the main reason is because we are writing into the cache of this storage cloud. And this cache is provided by servers. And all the memory into the server will be where we will first write the data. And that's why we are providing high availability, real-time, synchronous, because everything is so fast. It can write on different part on two nodes, for example, of the company or different part of the LAN at exactly the same time in the RAM, and then it's pushed to the storage, to the physical storage itself. And we accelerate as well the writing to the storage because we see the disk itself. We don't go through all the operating system access. We go directly to the disk and we write directly physically to the disk. So that's why we are agnostic, hardware agnostic, because in hardware, there's mainly two kind of disk manufacturer, which is Western Digital or Seagate, and we are compatible with both. So any vendor will use Western Digital or Seagate, so it's compatible with us. And so very fast write and read because it's in the cache, but it's as well on the storage at the same time. And that's explain why it's so fast and it's a real high availability with no downtime.
And you also support immutability.
Yeah, that's correct. So we in the past, we did support it in a specific way, and we have currently upgraded. So we have a new patch this quarter to include snapshot immutability as well. So that's another level. So we increase this concept of full protection of the data to avoid anyone to delete by mistake the content. And knowing that within the license, so when you buy SANsymphony for block storage, you have access to a lot of features per default. You don't need to buy extra license. You can have high availability on 2 nodes. You can have disaster recovery on a 3rd node. And you have as well continuous data protection on a 4th storage separated node. So it means that all of the data will be protected, to be modified, to be deleted, will be protected in case of a disaster recovery or a ransom activity or hacking. It will be completely protected because you have the CDP and because you have the DR, which is asynchronous as well.
Yes.
So all this is within the same license. So when you buy the license, you buy all the features. So you buy all the security plus the performances. And that's what makes us even more different to any other vendors.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're fully NIST 2 compliant, aren't you?
That's correct. Yes, we are NIST. I won't go into the details of NIST compliances, but yes, that's part of what we are providing, because we are obviously looking by different verticals like the bank, and some industry where they need to have a certain level of compliances. So we have this level of.
So NIST, for the viewers watching this, it outlines a framework where you need to have, is it 3 copies of your data?
It's 3 copies minimum, yes.
Yeah. So when you do a backup, it goes to locally, remote, and remote. So
yes,
if anything
correct.
gets hacked, you can just bring it back.
So that's why I explained. So you have the 2 nodes, plus you have the disaster recovery, and on top of that, you have a continuous data protection. So you can have like 4 places for your data. The CDP is usually limited to 15 days of data. You can do more, but obviously you will increase the cost of your infrastructure, hardware infrastructure. You don't need it. 2 weeks is usually compliant with the regulation, so that's enough. And then in this instance, you have different ways to protect your data against different, I would say, attack. Whatever the attack is, or virus. So you're really like cyber resilient and cyber proof as well with our solution. And some people on top of that are adding a backup solution, which is different because it's related to a specific regulation. So some regulation oblige you internally to have a backup, which is a different format. So you just take your data and it will write it into a different form, and it will put it into a different storage. But this form has to be read by what we call a reader. Forever. So they have the backup solution who's taking the data, put it into a protected format somewhere on the storage, and they have the reader, which is free, and you can read the content of your backup at any time. So there's even another level of security. So we are honest, but if you want to go even further, you add backup because you have no choice or because you want to protect your data. And you can even go further with the backup solution with disaster recovery and business continuity.
From your perspective, you can have, and this is maybe people are not aware of this, but you can have a Dell EMC array, you can have a Fujitsu Eternus, you could have an IBM flash system, and you virtualize all of those components. So it doesn't matter what the brand is, you treat them as components, and then you can tier within that. So you might have some flash, you might have some NVMe, you might have some hard disks, and you just virtualize all of that in one layer.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what I explained just before, but in a very simple way. We are agnostic, hardware agnostic, because in fact, how many real storage manufacturer exist on the planet? There's 2. Most of the people will say, oh, there's like NetApp, there's Quantum, there's HP. They are not. They are integrators who are providing the rack, the storage rack. Western Digital and Seagate. That's the main manufacturer. And we are compatible with them. So whatever label you put on top, it's just a marketing label. Obviously, there's some, I would say, level of software and intelligence with the choice of the CPU, the card, whatever you put into your appliance. But at the end of the day, it's Western Digital and Seagate. That's it. So whatever label, we don't mind. We are writing directly to the disk. So that's where we are very clever. And when you speak to companies, and more companies today are merging because the economy is a bit difficult.
Yes.
So there's a lot of companies who are disappearing and some opportunistic companies who are buying these kind of dying companies for strategic reason, growth or whatever. And when they buy these other companies, they buy could be Synology, it could be Quantum, it could be Dell, it could be AMC, and then they have multi-silos. And then they have a problem. Okay, how I can manage all these silos with all this knowledge? How many engineers trained, certified I need to have? Because I can't put everything on the shoulder of one guy. It's impossible. And if the guy is on holiday or ill or whatever, I need to have at least a second guy. So I need to have two nodes as well, two node concept. But it's not enough because it's multi-silo. So it means that I need to have all this knowledge, all the technology, all the maintenance, all the update. But we look at this IT manager and we tell him, that's okay with you. You can use all you have and we will take care of it. We will just take Quantum, for example, and a NetApp appliance, and we will do HA with both of them. And he's like, what? Can you do that? Yeah. And we, as a DR, we can put a Synology if you want. So we are completely agnostic. So whatever you have, whatever you bought and you just use, we will fit. And we will optimize your cost.
And one of the other things that you can do is you can migrate from legacy systems to more modern systems transparently.
Yeah, completely.
And then you can switch off the legacy and carry on.
Yeah.
So you don't actually physically have to move the data from your old system to your new system. Your system handles that migration.
Yes. So clearly in the backstage, yes, there will be a migration eventually if you want to go from SATA to new technology disk, whatever new technology disk you choose. That if you want to do that for different reasons, you can. Yeah. But you can use both as well, and we can use what we call the concept of tiering. So you can use the SATA for the low tier, the data who are still blocked, but we do not need to have excessive fast access.
Yeah.
So you can keep it. But if you, for any reason, want to change it, or it's very decommissioned, it's very old, and you want to migrate, we have the beauty of being agnostic. So we can create like a virtual storage, and it will take all the data out of your legacy storage, and it will move it to this new cloud. And it will do that in the back end, and there will be no downtime.
No.
And it's completely transparent for any user. And they won't see it happening. And when it's finished, you can just unplug your old legacy system and do whatever you want with that.
Thank you for covering that. I think SANsymphony is a fascinating product.
It is, definitely. Yeah.
And I've used it, as I said, myself, but it's quite interesting conceptually how it works. And I don't think I've come across any use cases that it isn't suitable for, because you can also provide file and block, SMB, NFS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Yes,
people that want it as well. So it's a really great product, in my opinion. Using your software, where do you see the fastest growth today? And do you want to touch on some of the customers that are actually using your products?
Which is kind of funny. Most of our existing customers are customers since decades. So when we signed a customer 27 years ago, we are still having this customer with us. Why? Because we just evolve. And because it works very well, and it's one license for everything. And because it's hardware agnostic, he can buy the hardware at the cheaper price.
Yes.
He doesn't need to listen to someone saying, sorry, but you have to buy 2 of these appliances at this price with this GPU. No, you can build whatever you want, and we will take care of the performance ourselves. So that's why when you start to use SANsymphony, you really like it, and you stay with us.
Yes.
Obviously, you will buy other vendors for other needs, but most of the case, they stay with us. So you have these legacy customers who are very loyal because they really love the solution, it's trust secure, they are comfortable.
Yes.
And then when they merge with other companies, they can add the storage from the other company very easily. So that's the first thing. The other thing is there are people who are, the new customer, the new prospect, are considering the IT hardware market very volatile, a bit like what we are living with Trump today in the global economy. We don't know what will happen.
No.
One day it's this price, the other day it's that price, that day it's this tax, the other day it's, well, there's no more tax. So the hardware market is extremely difficult to understand. You have to provision, as an IT director, you have to provision a budget, and you have to stick to this budget because it's what it is. You can have an extra this and extra, but you can't really double it.
No.
Or triple it. And that's what is happening today. So the faster growth is on the fact, I would say anyone who wants to grow is storage as an issue today. And to solve this issue, there's a few vendors, and DataCore is one of them, with 27 years of experience, providing a very solid solution, completely agnostic and very easy to put in place. So that's where I would say the bigger growth will come from modernizing your IT, or when you have multi-silo and you want to centralize in one single pane of glass.
Yes, and with the drive towards AI happening at a colossal rate, there are already mega shortages of storage.
Yes.
DRAM prices, I read this morning, have more than tripled in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And this storage drought, as I call it, is going to last potentially for 5 years. And one of the things that I think DataCore could help that is if you were considering to buy an SSD array or whatever it is, because the way you write into memory, you get accelerated writes anyway.
Yeah.
So you could buy a smaller array, save yourself whatever the price is, and still get the performance of what you would have bought originally.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly a very fair point to say that. Luckily for us, we are very well placed because we are the alternative, but we are now the solution to solve your problems. And your problems is, okay, how can I match my budget I provisioned last year? Because usually a budget is provisioned earlier. And how can I live in this world where I don't know how much will cost this hardware or this piece of memory or whatever disk, because I don't know. With us, you don't look like this. You don't read the market like this. You say, okay, what is the cheapest option? Can I just buy that and then grow nicely? Yes, you can. You can do what you want with what you have. So you're suddenly becoming an owner of your platform. You're not vendor lock-in. You're completely free.
Yeah.
So you have all the freedom. Hence our new, I would say, marketing concept, which is we are offering freedom of choice for your IT infrastructure. And we have a new reseller program we name Freedom 360 because it's completely freedom in whatever you want. And even for a reseller or CSP, so cloud server provider, or an ISP, ISV, all these companies who are providing services, storage as on demand or whatever SaaS solution, they need storage. And they need to optimize their costs. Otherwise, the end user will pay double, triple, quadruple. And with us, if they use our technology, no, they can just buy what they need. They can decommission some servers who are anyway to be decommissioned and then use it as purely storage. that's the advantage, is the flexibility, the agility of the solution. So yes, we are providing that. And yes, the Storm, the pricing we have at the moment, it's for us, I would say, a big advantage.
You can take the servers, whatever the server brands are, could be a Supermicro, could be a Lenovo, could be HPE, whatever, and you could take the storage arrays, again, NetApp, IBM, whatever, and you merge them all together.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of storage hardware you have, you can merge it into this virtual storage area, and you can have access to the data extremely fast, extremely secure. And the GUI, so the graphic user interface, it's very simple to understand. I can tell you when we do demos today, and the people are looking at our console, they are like, "Wow, that's very simple." It's just exactly the story you told me before we started this post, where it's the graphic is the reason why people choose you sometimes.
Yes.
And but behind the GUI, behind the interface, you have as well the technology, and the technology is really solid. We have 99% of happiness from our clients on the support side. We have a result of satisfaction up to official satisfaction.
So just contact us.
98%, so almost 99. So we have a solid solution, and we have happy customers as soon as they start to use us.
Brilliant. Right. Well, thank you, everyone. You've heard about DataCore.
Thank you.
Nice
you
to
very
meet you,
much.
David. Thank
Nice
you
to
for coming
meet
in.
you too.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.